Hey guys, how's everybody doing? It's Dave, Renegade Gig Hustler. Just got into the hotspot. Just want to take a little bit of time to talk to you all about DoorDash. This here will be just about DoorDash and the tactics they use and everything that goes on that I've seen in my experiences through the over 4.5 years of doing it. Now here's the thing, guys. Recently in the Pittsburgh market area, they started this rewards program. That's fine and dandy. You know, you have to have 50% to be in the silver, 70% to be in the gold, and you have to have 90% or better for the platinum status. Well, back months ago, I had my acceptance rate all the way up in the 90s, but in the next coming months, they started sending in a lot of garbage. And after working that hard for my acceptance rate, that started to plummet. That started to come down. My AR rates just started to drop. So I've been working hard trying to get that back up, trying to get that where I need it to be. I don't do strictly DoorDash. I do all the gig apps. So if you're doing strictly DoorDash, you could probably get that up in no time at all. But I wanted to talk to you about some tactics and some things that they do that really cause a person a problem, a driver, a dasher, anybody that does the gig apps. And I got, after weeks and weeks and weeks on end of things just dropping drastically in my market area, we got to the beginning, well, it was actually last Friday, and we got into then, we had the weekend, and then we had Easter, and then we had April 1st, and I got to tell you what, I got amazingly busy on all the apps. My market area started to climb again, and I've been making pretty amazing earnings all week long. Well, I was out here to do it yesterday, and not a typical Friday, but this past week, I got very busy. I was doing a lot of Uber Eats. I was doing DoorDash. I was doing Grubhub. And, there was a few moments when I was in a restaurant and the time really exceeded. It was a long wait time. So the time really exceeded how long I wanted to be in the restaurant for what DoorDash was paying me. So there was a number of times that I had to unassign an order. And I had to figure, hey, this isn't worth my time for what they're paying me. And so I turned around and I unassigned a few of those, and I really just never unassign, and but I will too if I have to, but it's been a long time since I've had to unassign. Needless to say, when I unassigned one of the orders, I noticed that, okay, we're unassigning with no pay, no problem. That's fine and dandy. And I noticed my acceptance rate went up 1 point. Now you're going down on your completion rate when you unassign. So my completion rate was probably at 96 or 97. Well, now, because I had to unassign 3 trips this past week, it's got me down to a 91. And so I noticed when I unassigned those, I jumped up a point on my acceptance rate. So I don't know if any of you have noticed that, but that isn't really what this is about. So I get home yesterday and I get this email. If you can see it. It says, "Hi David, we previously notified you that completion rate requirements were changing, and to remain active as a dasher, the minimum is now 90%. We understand things come up and there are times when you accept an order and need to unassign. Even with this change, you're still able to unassign 1 in every 10 deliveries. Based on your last 100 deliveries, your completion rate is close to or below 90%, meaning that you could, notice, you could be at risk of account deactivation in the next coming weeks. Completion rate is calculated on a rolling basis, so each delivery you complete will replace the oldest delivery out of the last 100. Make sure to complete all deliveries you accept to increase this number over time. What are they talking about? If I pick up a DoorDash, I complete it. I wouldn't accept it if I didn't plan to complete it. Since support is always available, you could find yourself in an emergency or run into an issue while on a dash. For additional information, you can review Section 3.4 of the Pennsylvania Penal Code. No, I'm just kidding. You can review Section 3.4 Contracted Services of your independent contractor agreement or the rating on DoorDash section of Platform Access Policy. You can also review Dasher ratings explained in the Dasher Help Center. They're out of their minds with all this. No other apps have all this. No other apps remind you of this. No other apps where you fall threaten to throw you off the platform or disqualify you or deactivate you. So what is up with DoorDash? I mean, come on now. This is a way for them to eliminate people. It says the completion rate is the percentage of completed orders out of your 100 most recent acceptances. You can find your completion rate in the ratings tab of the Dasher app. Well, no kidding, Sherlock. So, it says, what happens if I need to unassign? We value your choice and realize there are times when you accept an order, but you need to unassign because something comes up. Yeah, something comes up because I got long wait times and you're not paying me enough of money. That's all, Dashers. You are still able to unassign from 10 in 100 deliveries and won't be negatively impacted by things out of your control. I think I've unassigned 2 or 3 this past week, and that is the first time I've unassigned, and I can't tell you how long. And I'm not in the habit of unassigning, but according to them I am. It says completion rate is calculated on a rolling basis, so each offer you complete will replace the oldest offer in your Dasher history. Make sure to complete the deliveries you accept to increase the number over time. A vast majority of Dashers have a completion rate above 95%. These Dashers recommend. No Dashers are recommending anything. This is DoorDash trying to tell you what you need to do. On the accept screen, carefully review the offer amount, travel distance, and restaurant in each offer and only accept orders you are willing to complete. At pickup, introduce yourself to the staff when you arrive, but know that you may need to wait for the order to be prepared. Well, I got news for you. The day I unassigned those, all my orders, and bulk of them were all on Uber Eats, and a couple on Grubhub, they were all ready. They were grab and goes. And so I was running a hustle, as I normally do in my market area, and I got to the restaurant. It hadn't even been begun. They never started it. I couldn't get help from any of the employees. I checked one of the options on the DoorDash app to let it know that the order wasn't even in the process of being made. And it was at McDonald's where there was a lot of employees and none of them were moving around too good, and the drive-thru wasn't full, and it wasn't very busy in the restaurant, and they just weren't doing much at all. So it was holding me back before I grabbed the guy, and he had to verify, and then he went back and asked, and then they says, yeah, we have that. But no one yet had still started on it. And I said to him, hey, how long? He said, oh, give us 10-15 minutes. I said, what? This was after being in there for about 6-7 minutes already. So I've just assigned it. I said, you know what? Never mind. So I unassigned that. And then I was at another restaurant where I had to unassign because they were trying to locate the order. And by the time they located it, 10 minutes had passed. They told me to give them another 12 minutes to put it together. I'm into 22 minutes at that point. So no way I'm unassigning for $7.75, and I have to drive another 5.5 miles to get it to the customer. So no thank you. So I believe it was 2 orders that I did unassigned, but this is the kind of tactics, guy, that DoorDash pulls. This is the kind of things that you have to go through with DoorDash. No other app do you have to schedule with. No other app do you have to stay in a zone. No other app do you have to get these kind of messages. I've been doing Uber Eats close to 5 years this June, and I have not once got a message from them on anything even closely relating to something like this. So DoorDash is out of their minds. And the other thing I want to say about DoorDash is lately, even though I've been trying to get the AR rate up, I'm not strictly doing DoorDash app like a lot of people that come out here in an oversaturated market area as mine is. And I'm running multi-apping. I'm super multi-apping most days. And so if I wanted to get my AR rate up, I'd get it up like crazy. But now they're talking completion rate. If it isn't AR rate to get in that rewards program, then it's completion rate. And if you're not at the completion rate they want you to be, 95 or better, they're going to boot you out. So I've been doing this over 4.5 years, and I've never in my life, never seen this on any other apps. The other thing, guys, is that no sooner do you start to get that AR rate up and they send you in them crummy, rotten, garbage trips for $2.25, $3 going 9, 10, 11, 12 miles. It's like, what's up with that? That's how they get you, guys. You get 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Or you go 1 step forward, 2 steps back. DoorDash knows what they're doing, and they're trying just to keep a select certain amount of people around. And the others, they're wanting to throw you away. And so think about that when they're sending you out all them garbage trips and you're struggling to try to make your money on DoorDash on any given day. Not to say that they don't send some good ones in every now and then. I get plenty. But think about your wait times. Think about traffic. Think about driving through construction and all those things. And why did they give you a contract violation when you know you didn't deserve it? Make sure you have a dash cam. Make sure you have a body cam. Make sure you take photos and video when you're not even required to protect yourself, because they're quick to pull anything on you. And always, everything reverts on the driver. So, just wanted to throw all those things out, guys, and let you know none of it makes sense, and DoorDash is the only one to pull all these tactics. So with that being said, it's Dave, Renegade Gig Hustler. I'll be back with you another time for some more tips and ways to strategize and get yourself really rolling, no matter what gig app you're doing. Appreciate your time, guys. You all take care.